Everyone needs therapy.
Everyone does need therapy.
This is Renee.
And this is Irina.
And you're listening to Honey, I'm Healing. She's kicking?
Yeah, in the ribs. And it was just like, it's just very awkward position.
Do you see in the background here what's hanging on my...
Oh, my bag that I made you.
It's...
Have you used it?
No, I'm kind of afraid to because I don't want to ruin it.
Sew a liner in there.
So, yeah. So for those of you that are not watching on YouTube or video, Irina made me the most gorgeous handmade crochet bag. Like, she needs to sell these on Etsy. It is amazingly beautiful. Part of me wants to like get up and show it and just give it its moment in time. But
it's okay, don't. We've got the whole setup.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I made Irina a little quilt.
For baby girl, yeah.
We got to get together in Knoxville and just have a little, way too short of a weekend together, but...
It's so relaxing and chill.
Yes.
And just all about what we embody, and I loved it.
Slowness was the theme. Yeah.
And I feel like we're embodying that as women from what we've been learning from Margarita. We are finishing part 4 today.
Yeah.
But she hit it off. She ended with some good keynotes here. We're going to go through Rule 8 through 13. Is it 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got notes. I got so many notes.
So Rule 8, this is a fun one to talk about because I can go back and think on like previous people I've dated. Rule 8, you are the price. Such a big concept to remember. Prize? Oh.
Yeah.
Why did okay, we're going to say that again. Rule 8, you are the prize. Autocorrect here wrote price. But you are also worth a hefty price too.
Yeah.
This is something you need to know in like those really, really first couple months of dating, I feel like. Because that's when people tend to show you exactly who they are. And that's when you really need to be, I wouldn't say alert, because that sounds a little anxious, but just be very aware of your boundaries and what exactly it is that you are liking about a person. She talks about ghosting here. And I remember being ghosted once, like it's only happened once, and it was such a crappy feeling, especially after talking to someone for like 3 months and then crickets, like silence. Yeah, I like wish I was more Margarita in that sense, to like not take it as a personal thing, but I definitely took it very personally. And I wish, like, I know this now, but she talks about, you know, the guy who's ghosting you. Why on earth are you giving him another second, like any second of your attention? They're boring. They're like the boring uncle. He doesn't want to give you attention. So it's not, I took it as a me problem, and it wasn't a me problem. It was he's got whatever he's got going on problem. Focus on yourself. If you find yourself wanting to reach out and get closer because someone is behaving in a way that is not showing interest in you, then simply it's not going to work out. So just stop and move on.
The part that stuck out for me in this episode, or in this rule, was like not putting all of your attention on somebody else. And she talked about the spotlight, like put the spotlight on yourself. And she says it's all about sticking to your own path and not losing yourself in someone else. If you live for you, no matter what happens, you will still grow and be happy with who you are. You need to be someone, a person of substance. Decide what you like and don't like. Don't put your life on hold for something that isn't beneficial to your future.
Yeah.
You know, I think for me it took dating different kinds of men to realize what I like and what I don't like. And unfortunately, you know, there is like, you feel like you're wasting time when you're doing that. But I mean, look where I am now, Irina.
Yeah, I don't find it wasting time. I feel like it's wasting time sticking to the first person guy you fall for. I mean, not always, not for everyone. You're probably just a very healthy person if you can do that well, but most people, they don't get it right with their high school
No,
sweetheart.
I feel like if you meet the right person right away, that's the exception, not the rule. Like,
so true.
That's an anomaly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out kind of what your boundaries are, what you're looking for. Like, Irina and I made a husband list for her when when she was
like years ago.
Yeah, but you're kind of able to like put down on paper like what exactly am I looking for so that I don't settle for something else.
Yeah. What do I stand for? And
exactly.
And that's so important because when you know what you stand for, you won't bend over your own values, your own morals, your own boundaries for someone to make someone be someone for you who they're not. And that person deserves to have someone who cares about them just as like who they are, even if they're crappy. Great, you deserve to be with someone who appreciates your crappy bare minimum. Yes, so
preach. Rule 9, never convince someone to be with you. This one hurt because this rule took me how many years? Like 3.5 years to figure out. Never convince someone to be with you. I wish I would have had, I mean, don't get me wrong, like being a stubborn person, I have to learn rules the hard way sometimes. And this was definitely one of those. But I really appreciated how she kind of walked through this rule and how she highlighted it and talking about self-acceptance and being in your feminine and all of those things. And I love that she brought in Sex and the City because I was a very avid watcher of that growing up. Mm-hmm. I don't think you were, right?
No way, it had the word sex in it.
Yeah. So
are you kidding me? It was the demon back then. My parents would never allow it.
Yeah, she talks about the Carrie Bradshaw experiment and that it proves that narratives we're told about love, sex, and dating may not always lead to the fulfillment and happiness we seek, highlighting the gap between expectation and reality and the quest for meaningful connections. So I think that Carrie kind of dealt with trying to convince someone to be with her, and because she had this entire series long on again off again thing with Mr. Big, and like this is a huge plot timeline kind of thing in the show, but then she has like separate little flings on the side and stuff. This show is crazy. Don't ever convince someone to be with you, because if they don't want to be with you, like you can't change their mind.
Yeah, and I think the deeper issue more is like, why do you want to be in a place? Like, what is it about you that's attracting that? Like, why are you attracted to wanting to convince someone to be with you? Like, what is lacking in us?
I can speak from experience that it's because at that point in time I thought that I had to earn love.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way that I knew it. And it was like,
I can relate.
And sometimes like when, you know, and you hear these things of like, well, when someone gives 60%, you have to give 40. And it's like, no, you can actually both give 100%. 100% and 100%. It's like you have to match that energy. But if someone's not choosing you,
then they don't love you. Yeah, and it comes down to knowing your worth. And you can't.
100%.
Unfortunately, if you're already in a place where you're feeling like you're having to convince someone to be with you, unfortunately, that relationship itself did not cultivate feeling like you're high value or feeling like you have a lot of worth. You probably were not in a relationship with someone who inspired those things into you either. Neither was I. So at least in some, I've dated some people who actually, like, just because it didn't work out doesn't mean that they didn't inspire. When those relationships ended, it was very positive. There's like no animosity. It was just like, okay, that kind of hurt, but like I feel good about myself.
I think about the song Thank You Next by Ariana Grande when she's like, one taught me love, one taught me patience. I think that that's kind of how I see people that I've dated in the past, because I think that something so valuable came out of all of those experiences. At least that's how I chose to see it. You know, I do believe, like we've talked about this so many times, like every person you meet is a holy encounter. So if it didn't work out, what is that person teaching me that I can bring forward to the highest version of myself, to the best version of myself? And how is that going to propel me into the future that I deserve and that I'm destined for?
I love when she said that, you know, for a good relationship to form, there should be those 3 marks where it's mutual responsibility, friendship, and equal mutual attraction. I definitely think those 3 things are important. Another comment she made in this rule is like, the best thing when you are dating, to remember the best thing you can do for your children is choose their father wisely. Like, not only are you, if you are someone who wants to start a family, not only are you looking for your partner, but you're looking like, is he going to be a good dad? Is this someone who you would want your child to be like? Or, because I think when we really ask ourselves the question, that's when we can really see where we're settling in what we believe to be like the best for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and I think like one word that I really focus on for myself and my future is legacy. I mean, having a failed relationship and marriage, that's such a word that's like have such a heavy meaning for me now. It's like, when I'm choosing the next person that I'm going to marry, how is that person going to help me with the legacy that I want to leave? And, you know, I have the foundational corners of that, but I think that I'm so grateful for having the experiences that I've had and figuring out what my standards are now. And that was the only way that I could learn that. But she talks about standards. I'm looking at my notes here. When it comes to the standards we're trying to meet, it seems like we're aiming to match up with men, but here's the catch. They don't hesitate to pass off tasks when they need to. It makes you wonder why there's such a huge pressure on women to do it all ourselves. Delegate the jobs you can't or don't want, and don't lose your femininity to daily duties that aren't your sole responsibility. So one of my legacy things is like, how can I be the softest version of myself so that I have more energy to dedicate to my family and to raising a family? And like, I don't think I would have had that perspective in any other circumstance. So in terms of finding a partner for the future and that's in alignment with the legacy that I want to leave, how is that partner going to help me be the softest version of myself and support that, while in turn, how am I helping them with their masculinity and creating a really balanced home?
She mentions like being their inspiration, like if you are wanting to be the softest version of yourself, like to care for your children and to be the nurturing, more of the nurturing role in the family, then a part of that is being an inspiration to them. And I really liked when she talked about that and manifesting that kind of energy more throughout the home, because that's something that I love doing and I love focusing on at home. And I was saying it's taken me 2 children to get to that version of myself. Haven deserved that version so much. She got a part of it, and then, you know, crap hit the fan. But
I think that she gets to look at the way that Matt loves you and know that that's available to her. And I think that,
yeah, agreed.
You know, I think that that's going to change her standard. And even the way that Matt loves Haven as his own. And like, yeah, I think that there's just something really beautiful about the fact that she has different perspectives now. And I think that that's going to help her too, just being in a mixed family. But knowing that there's different kinds of men out there and different kinds of love, I think that that will help her kind of choose the best person for her because she knows what's available.
Yeah, and she gets to see it through me Like,
Yeah.
who is mom in this environment, and who is mom in this environment, and who is mom in this environment. That's our kids are watching. So be very careful about who you choose to have children with. Really.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. She also talked about love languages here really quick. And that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
What is yours?
My love language?
Yeah.
Words of affirmation and acts of service.
Okay. I'd say mine's acts of service. At least how I receive. It changes. I feel like it's all of them in a way. I think as we mature, they're all kind of working together.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok that was like, the girl that hates physical touch the most, that's her love language. And it's like when you meet the right person, 100%. I am not a hugger. I don't like physical touch. But when you're with the right person, like, I just want to always one hand just on them at all time. Or just have them near. I don't know. It's like,
Matt's is definitely physical. And it's always like scratching his dang head, man. The amount of head scratches I give that man. That's the highlight of his love language. Okay, rule number 10. Always understand rules and expectations. Be lazy and stop doing things for him. Men love that. I love that. I love to hear it because I love to be it.
Yes. She says, an inconvenient woman is the best type of woman to be because you know exactly if he likes you or not. Inconvenient because men like the chase of winning over someone who is their own person. Be a lazy woman in that you don't do anything for his life, his business, his meals. Don't try to push the relationship with him. If you're actioning and doing all the planning and relationship building, then he's not going to be in his masculine.
And that doesn't mean you don't have ambition. That doesn't mean you don't live your own life. If anything, you have ambition. You have your own life. You're so focused on yourself that you don't have time to help be in a codependent place where you're managing someone else's ambition and lifestyle. Active women attract passive men. So true. Been there, done that. Not a fan.
I don't even think it's like boils down to like playing the game. You know, like you hear about the game of like, oh, I can't text back. It has nothing to do with texting back within a certain amount of time or whatever BS people try to put on you. It's about actually being busy and doing things for yourself and being like, look, if you want, like, I'm open to you, but if you want to be with me, like, I'm way over here, so you can come to me, but like, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing and stop the momentum of creating or whatever I'm doing for you. Like, you can come meet me.
Yeah. So good to cultivate that and to become this person when you are already single, because it's a lot harder when you're with someone to not, like, you do tend to kind of bend a little bit because now there's someone else you're considering and, you know.
Well, yeah.
But so definitely this goes for dating a lot, but like this really is so true for like long-term relationships too. Like, don't forget your hobbies. Don't forget what's important to you. And not only with your spouse, but like with your children. Don't like just do everything all day for them. Like, take some time for yourself and don't forget yourself.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Agreed.
So good.
Rule 11. Go for it.
This is the rule. This is the one rule that my mom taught me growing up that it's like I actually really believe in. Rule 11 is, if he wants space, give it to him.
What'd your mom teach you?
She's like, men need space. Let them have space. And that's currency to them. And I believe that. What that basically is saying is that you're secure in who you are, that you don't need to like constantly be checking in on them, or like where you're at with them or what they're doing. Like, you're secure, so go do it's the let them theory from Mel Robbins embodied in this also. If they're gonna go off and do sketchy things, let them, because they're gonna do those things anyway.
Exactly.
It's, yeah.
She went off to talk about resentment in this, and I liked it. I liked what she said about resentment being a gift, because it shows you where you've given too much of yourself. It's always a good stopping place to think and reflect, okay, where have I given so much of myself that no one asked for? And yes, people are just going, it's not that they're taking advantage of you. I don't think people are out here maliciously thinking they're taking advantage of us when we overextend ourselves. If anything, they're probably grateful majority of the time, but it's up to us to recognize, okay, I'm giving too much. I'm doing too much, and now I'm kind of hating you for it. Even though there may or may not have been an expectation from this person. And resentment always falls on us.
Always. Always. That whole thing of resentment and bitterness are gifts, because they show you where you've overstrained yourself. I sat on that for a minute, and that felt like an epiphany for me, in just because resentment's something that I've battled for so long. What a beautiful way to put that because they're showing you the areas that you are overextending yourself. And as someone that's a 2 and that's a giver, like, man, I can look back on so many different instances in my life and say, yeah, I was resentful of them because I didn't say no. But it's like, you have to honor your no, so that, like, your no to other people is a yes to yourself, kind of thing. And be firm with it, and don't apologize about saying no to other things or to other people. Like, if it's gonna drain you, don't do it. And, like, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you have to give an excuse. Even just protect your energy.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that interview with Mary Kate and Ashley, I believe, where they're like, Mom and Dad taught us that no is a full sentence, is a complete sentence?
You know what? I think every situation in life could be boiled down to, like, a Mary Kate and Ashley quote or movie in some way. Like, they taught me French.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Passport to Paris, so good.
I want Haven to watch those with me. I think she needs another year or two, but
that movie made me perfect my my French accent. When the rain comes, I am sad. Okay.
Nailed it.
So good, right?
Literally, imagine hating Renee and that's what she's doing.
Imagine hating Renee and she's just hacking up a lung.
Oh, so funny.
Okay, rule 12.
Yeah.
You are not his mama.
Yeah.
She kind of touched on this one earlier, with mothering versus nurturing.
Big difference.
When you want something and he wants the other thing, choose what you want. Go into your goddess energy and be more selfish. Trust me, it works better for everybody.
She talks about the difference between nurturing and mothering as if, like, when your friend is coming over, you will offer them water, wine, Coke, maybe even a Diet Coke. And they ask for a Coke. And you say, okay, here you go. That you're nurturing your friend. You're providing them a drink. To my child now, I would not even give her those options. I would say, do you want water or watered down juice?
Yeah.
That's mothering. You're not choosing what's best for your friend. And I actually asked Matt yesterday, I was like, do you think I mother you? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I think you mother me. Because we've been painting our bookcase. And, like, I think he's just very meticulous about the way he wants structural and house things done. I know it's that. So, but I took it as an opportunity to put a joke out there, because I'm like, he'll be standing there watching me paint my lines. He'll be like, too many streaks there. I'm like, shh, go away. Paint your own bookcase.
Yeah, like, I like it so this funny.
Way. I like it jaggedy.
Yeah. Also,
so funny.
Like, you paint by numbers. You're a pro. So, What, what does he have to show for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is a good one to always reflect, because I think it's so easy to cross the line, like blur the lines of nurturing and mothering. Like, I do the shopping for the family majority of the time. Because I'm thinking of everyone, I'm always going to choose like the healthier option.
Yeah.
Not the Cheetos brand he likes. I will choose the Trader Joe's version, you know? So,
Yeah.
yes, I think that's mothering, but I'll allow that.
That's like, but see, that's different because it's like for the family unit. Like, if you were just going out for him, would you buy the Cheetos?
I'd probably give him the junk food.
Yeah. That's the difference.
It's your health. You want to eat that.
Okay, rule 13, honor both your needs and his. So she goes into to 3 things women need to feel fulfilled in a long-term relationship, and then 3 things that men need to feel fulfilled in a long-term relationship. So the 3 things that women need to feel fulfilled are: she needs to feel safe emotionally and physically. She needs to feel valued and appreciated beyond what she does, and she wants intimacy. And then the 3 things that men need are: he needs freedom. Men often respond better when they have ownership over their responsibilities and decisions. He needs to be needed, and he needs to remain himself.
I love all 3 that she gave for the men, because those are so true. I would probably like add a little bit of respect in there, but I think like that goes with the autonomy and independence and freedom.
Totally.
And then for women, like safety, to never have to, like, even if you are a secure woman, like if you're with someone who makes you kind of question like where you guys stand, like your relationship should never be on the table. So that's so important. That's so important for me.
I think the biggest one that I've leaned into is that men need to be needed.
I love that one.
I'm looking for ways, and not in like a patronizing way, but like, what's something that I can do that would feel really good for him to do for me? Like change a light bulb. I don't want to do that anyway. I mean, I did that today actually, but...
You need a bookcase to put all your books on, so he has to build one.
Exactly. And you know what? You got 2. You got 2.
The wine fridge out of it.
That room is gorgeous. And that rug, so beautiful.
Agreed. Like they need to feel like just like it comes down to being providers, like men in their most masculine feel as if they are providing. And I don't know where I heard this, but like scientifically, men are losing their testosterone now than ever before, because they don't do those things that like... Life is a little too easy now. Like, you don't have to go hunt your own food. You don't have to build your own house. You've got all these other vendors and people doing services for you that like normally a man would be doing or is biologically raised to. So it's super interesting to see hundreds of years down the road, like how our DNA evolves and how we as humans will evolve with how easy life is becoming. And I'm saying that referring into the masculine and feminine.
I have a hot take with that. I think that some men enjoy not having to be masculine.
Of course.
They enjoy receiving the baby treatment because they've been mothered, because they know that the woman will come in and do it. And that's not fruitful because she gets resentful and leaves, but there's always another person that's going to come along and like pick up where the other one left off. And like, yeah, to your point, I'm really curious what that model's going to look like in the future. I mean, Margarita's taken off on all of this, and I think that there's a lot of traction now with women stepping into feminine energy and being like, you know what, I'm not going to take on these things, and I'm going to make him rise to my level to meet me where I'm at and to complement the other side of this, because that's an adult relationship. Yeah, I'm so grateful that we went through this book and that we read through all of these and have just kind of practiced them.
Yeah. I'm always, especially since we've taken such a long time to go through it, it's really stuck with me a lot more than just watching her TikToks here and there.
Yeah, me too.
We loved doing this. You guys, you have to go read her book. We love Margarita. Follow her on her social medias too, because she gives all her best nuggets out there. And
yeah, her podcast. She's got so many different little avenues and so much wisdom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Irina, what's our next book going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm going to put you on the spot. That'll be announced.
I'll pick one
later.
It will be. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tagging along with us for the 4-part series of this. We love you. We're so grateful for you. Okay, we'll see you next time.